there is still work to be done. But this problem is not exclusive to child care providers. Unfortunately, it also happens while children are in the care of their own family or friends. So today's warning goes out not only to child care providers, but also to families, neighborhoods, schools, churches, communities, anywhere children are gathered, are cared for, or are transported. That's why today we are honored to be joined by the Governor, First Lady, these other state agencies, and child advocates to remind all Georgians to never leave a child alone in a vehicle, even for a minute. And when you've checked to make sure everyone is out of the vehicle, please look again, and then be sure to close and lock the doors of your vehicle. Vehicular heat stroke is a year-round problem. It can happen even when temperatures are in the upper 50s, but it becomes particularly serious during the summer months when the average temperature in Georgia reaches 88 degrees and higher. We believe that lives will be saved if these simple warnings are heard, heeded, and repeated. So at this time, I am honored to introduce one of the most ardent advocates for the well-being of children in Georgia, Governor Nathan Deal. And again, I thank him for the attention he and Mrs. Deal bring to this critically important issue. Governor Deal.
Thank you very much, Amy, and thanks to all of you for being here today. It doesn't take being inside of a car to be hot. I know you can get hot even outside of one today, but thankfully we do have some cloud cover. This is an important event. It's an event that calls to the attention of all of us the importance of just being extra careful. And that's especially important with regard to children in closed vehicles. We all know the statistics, and they're not very pretty when something like this happens. They're not intentional. They are generally just neglect or oversight, or just not being as thorough as you might ordinarily be. And that's what this whole campaign is about. It's just simply to say, when you think you've looked, look again. It pays to do so. Now, I know that as Amy has outlined, we have child care providers who are represented here today, and certainly you want to take care and to give the confidence to the families who entrust their children to you for their daycare activities, that they're going to be safe and that they're going to be protected. So, as you transport children and your drivers, I hope that you will re-emphasize to all of them to look again. Make sure that nothing untoward happens just because you didn't take that few minutes or seconds even to look again. And to parents, I know you're busy. We all are. And sometimes the temptation is that, well, I'm only going to be in there for just a few minutes and everything will be all right. I'm just going to close the windows up and I'm going to lock it so that nobody can get to my child inside, and I'll be back in just a little while. But sometimes things don't happen exactly as you intend, and you don't get back, or even if you get back as soon as you expected, the temperatures inside that car can rise rather dramatically in a short period of time. And children's bodies are susceptible to higher temperatures quicker than an adult is. Their temperatures will escalate very quickly, their body temperature, more so than adult will. So, to parents, you too, look again. It's important that you do so. So, that's the message that we came to deliver to you today. For those of you who are in neither of those categories, though, you're just citizens of our state. You're minding your own business, and you walk through a parking lot, and you see a child, or maybe more than one child, inside of a closed vehicle. You know, your first reaction is, well, that's just not my business. Make it your business. We want you to make it your business. If you see a child who is in that situation and is therefore subject to danger, please call 911. Even if the parent returns quickly, we will all still be glad that you took that extra step and you took that precaution. So it is everybody's business. It is particularly parents' business. It is particularly child care providers' business. But it's all of our concerns, because these are all children of the state of Georgia. Now, I have the pleasure to introduce to you someone that always reminds me to look again. And it's not always related to children in a locked vehicle. In fact, I came off today without any money in my pocket, and thankfully she was at the Twin Towers and she had to buy my lunch today because I didn't look again to see whether I had put my money in my pocket. My wife, the First Lady of Georgia, Sandra.
Well, thank you all for being here because you're showing your interest and concern in the safety of our children. You know, I know as a mother, and I had 4 children, and 2 of them were 16 months apart, and there were lots of times I would like to have left one in the car rather than carry 2 at one time, but I didn't. Because I even at those years ago knew how important it was to take my children with me. And sometimes it was extra hard trying to manage one on my shoulders and one in my arms. But I did. Because I knew that they were safer with me than they were left for somebody else to possibly harm or for something to happen to them in a hot car. I know carrying them on your shoulders is not the safest way either, but that was the way I had to manage my children before I was able to get a stroller that would handle both of them. But our concern is with our children being safe and not being left in hot cars. And our subject is look again, because we do need to take the time to look again. But all of you here would look again because you are here because you understand the importance of looking again. But not everybody has that same knowledge or compassion or caring or discipline. And so what we're asking you to do is spread the word. Let other people know. You can do it through texting, through your Facebook, through all kinds of media. You can put up signs, you can remind people as you see them. You can teach young people, especially babysitters and caretakers, to be sure they never leave a child in the car, that they always take them with them, and that they are careful because that is our most precious possession. You know, there's nothing like looking into the face of a young child and seeing them smile back and respond to you and be so happy. And can you imagine that same child not looking back at you, being still and not alive because of your negligence? Or because you didn't help spread the word? So I know it sort of sounds gruesome, but please let people know. If we don't do our part to educate people, then they may not know and it will be too late. So we want everybody to remember to look again. So say it with me. Look again. Say it one more time. Look again. Oh, let's say it 3 times. Look again. Thank you all so very much.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Deal, Governor Deal, and all of you who made time out of your busy schedules to be here this afternoon to help us spread this very, very important message and protect our most precious commodity, our children. I also want to take just a minute to recognize and thank the organizations and individuals who are partnering with us in this effort. And as I call your organization's name, if you'll just raise your hand so that we know that you're here. The Georgia Department of Public Health, Georgia Department of Human Services, Georgia Department of Public Safety, Governor's Office of Highway Safety, the Georgia Department of Transportation, who is helping us and will put our Look Again message on their signs throughout the interstate to help us spread our message. The First Lady's Children's Cabinet and those organizations that are represented here, Save Kids Georgia, the Georgia Child Care Association, the Georgia Early Education Alliance for Ready Students, So if you will just please help us spread this message about Look Again by viewing and then sharing our new video with as many people as possible. Our short video is available on our Bright from the Start website, which is at decal.ga.gov. It's also on our Facebook, Twitter, and our YouTube pages. Today's event has powerfully demonstrated to me, and I am sure all of you, the undeniable fact of what happens in a closed car in June in Georgia. You can see here on our demonstration that although the bottom part's not working, but the Weather Channel tells us that it's about 76 degrees outside. The inside of this vehicle is 149 degrees. This can be devastating to a child in a matter of moments. And it's technically not even summer yet. We actually have a nice breeze, which is a little bit of a relief today. But you can bet that that temperature in this car is, again, it's very mild for this spring day and will get even worse as it gets hotter in Georgia. But by working together and heeding and repeating the powerful words of Look Again, we can save children's lives. So have a very nice afternoon as you return to your homes and to your workplaces. Take some keychains, some posters, some stickers, share our video. Please help us get this very, very simple message, but critical message that can save a life to look again. Thank you very much.